Hey everyone, this video is about the first part of the book of Enoch. I hope to make this into a series for people who don't know about the book of Enoch and maybe don't have time to read it or don't have access to it. My goal is to make a summary and not put much of my own interpretation in it. I'd like to just let it speak for itself and to let you think for yourself about what you think it means. Also, you may want to see my other video about the history of the book of Enoch and why it wasn't included in the Bible and what people think about the accuracy of it, if it should have been included or if it's accurate. I did a video on that already. So the book begins by talking about creation. It talks about how the heavens don't change their orbit. It says the seasons don't change, and the earth doesn't change. The sun and the moon don't change. It says that the works of God's creation, their tasks don't change. And it says that nature keeps God's commands, but humans don't. From there it goes into a fragment from the book of Noah. It begins to talk about the fallen angels. It says that Semjaza was their leader and that he wanted them to come down to earth and mate with human women and make children with them. And there were 200 of them altogether that would end up being the fallen angels. Semjaza was afraid that the others wouldn't go through with the plan, that they'd back out, and he was afraid that he'd have to pay the penalty alone for what he called a great sin. So the 200 of them swore an oath not to abandon this plan. They knew that it was going to make God very angry, but they decided to do it anyway. So the 200 of them descended down to earth on Mount Hermon. And from there it says they chose wives, and that the wives had children with these fallen angels. And you'll see stories similar to this about other beings coming from the sky all across different cultures in ancient history. And this is where the concept of ancient aliens comes from. Some people think that these were beings from other planets that came down to Earth and did this. But the book of Enoch tells us that it was fallen angels. It says that the children these women bore by these angels were giants, and it says that their height was 3,000 ells. If you look in the Ethiopian Bible includes the book of Enoch as canon, and the text from the Ethiopian Bible recorded this as 300 cubits, which would mean about 450 feet for these giants. After that, it goes on to talk about how these fallen angels taught humans secrets from heaven, and these were things that God didn't want people to know yet. And again, you see these stories across other cultures. They'll call them space brothers, or they'll call them ancient aliens, but there's this concept of beings that came down from somewhere else and taught humans technology that they didn't know before. And I may mispronounce some of these names, so forgive me. Some of these names are quite difficult. But the first one it mentions is Azazel. It says he taught humans how to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates. He taught metalworking, how to make bracelets, how to beautify the eyelids, and he taught jewels. Semjaza was the leader of the fallen angels, and he taught enchantments and root cuttings. Armaros taught resolving enchantments. Barakiel taught astrology. Kokabeel taught constellations. Ezekiel taught knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel taught signs of the earth. And Shamziel taught signs of the sun. Sariel taught the course of the moon. It says that 3 of God's archangels, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, looked down and saw what was happening on earth. These secrets of heaven that God didn't want us to know yet, it was because humans weren't ready for it, and this knowledge was causing a lot of sin and bloodshed on the earth. So these 3 angels looked down and saw this, and they went to God about it. They wanted to know what to do about it. So I wanted to end this video here, and hopefully I'll have more in this series, and you can see what happens next, unless you feel inspired to go read the book of Enoch for yourself to see what happens next. Thanks so much for listening, and God bless you.